Okay, I should be live. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, I should be live. Yeah, hey Sean. Yeah, so I've been playing around with some of the BIOS settings for this dual CCD X3D, and Asus, I don't know if this is Asus exclusive stuff, but Asus has some really good stuff in here that now I'm very curious if the other motherboard brands, in particular MSI, because I have the MSI Godlike and I was thinking of moving the CPU into the Godlike. So far, with the 9950X, I don't see these settings in the Godlike. So I'm thinking maybe this might be an Asus exclusive thing. But anyway, just to kind of give people an overview of what I'm talking about, is the game, basically, with the X3D, the reason why the X3D, the 9950 X3D, is the absolute best CPU right now is because you don't need... Now, I really need to verify if the other brands have this, because if Asus has this, then, man, Asus is definitely the winner when it comes to the best motherboard to pair with the 9950 X3D. But there is a feature in the Asus BIOS called X3D Core Flex, and that should be in the title of this live stream. X3D Core Flex. Yes, Core Flex algorithm. This feature is so good. It is fantastic. Because this way, you don't need to bother with the game mode and the Xbox game bar and all that stuff with the core parking. This completely ignores all that stuff that the operating system... Now, it doesn't ignore that stuff, meaning if you enable those features in Windows, like for example, if you turn game mode on, Windows will override what this is doing. But I have found that this behavior, letting the firmware on the motherboard handle the scheduling, is more like Intel's thread director. So it's actually a whole lot better than, at least for the way I use the computer, it's a lot better than relying on game mode and all the nonsense that you have to play around with. So this way, basically what it does is it's an algorithm that it's a finite state machine that basically checks how cache sensitive or memory sensitive a application is. And if it is not cache sensitive, it's going to push it to CCD1 so that it gets the benefit of the high frequency speed on CCD1, the 5.7, 5.8 gigahertz. If it is cache sensitive, it will push it to the CCD0, the one that has the X3D. And that means that typically games will get pushed, as you guys can see here, to the first CCD. Now, we do not have to deal with core parking, because for most people who are only playing games, it's totally fine to use the game mode thing. But what I have found is that when you do that, you're missing out on the extra cores if you're running a game and the game is the primary focused window. And that means that all your background apps get forced onto the same exact CCD, which, as we saw with Monster Hunter Wilds, this game being an incredibly CPU demanding game, can overwhelm the CPU, and then background tasks also are getting scheduled onto the exact same CCD. So it's basically no different from running a 9800 X3D at that point. So it's like, why pay more money for a 9950 X3D if you turn on game mode and you start running a game and it basically behaves exactly the same as a 9800 X3D? See, that to me, that's dumb. That's bad. I don't like that. I want to be able to use the rest of my CPU because, for example, what we're doing is we are live streaming on this PC. We're also playing Monster Hunter Wilds on this PC at the same exact time. On top of that, we have all this other stuff running in the background. We got Discord, we got OBS, we got Steam. Easy Gaming Life just subscribed. We got all this other stuff running. So I want the second CCD to handle those other things. And I have found that if you turn game mode on, you lose the benefit of even having those extra cores. So what I've done is I've turned off game mode. So we're running the game with no game mode. It's disabled. And instead, we're using the X3D Core Flex algorithm in the BIOS to determine how to schedule the threads to the operating system. And this is significantly better. This is significantly better behavior. My 1% lows are so much better while live streaming. Because yesterday's live stream, I noticed the FPS during combat kept dropping a lot under heavy load. And I was looking over at Task Manager and I'm like, the second CCD is literally doing nothing. It's literally sitting there doing absolutely nothing. And the first CCD is getting overwhelmed because Monster Hunter Wilds is the most CPU-bound game in 2025, and we're also trying to live stream at the exact same time. And we have all this other stuff running that's all being pegged to that one CCD. So basically, it was no different from my previous 9800 X3D. So I was like, no, we got to fix this. This is not how I want this to work. So one of the things you can do is you can turn off game mode. Turning off game mode is an easy fix because that will free up the rest of the cores. However, sometimes it will misschedule some of the stuff that you want to be on one or the other CCD. And that is where X3D Core Flex algorithm comes in to save the day. Because this is so good. This is so good. I can't believe we're running the game at like 108 frames per second while live streaming at the exact same time. Now, I'm trying to figure out, so I'm continuing to encode the live stream with the Radeon RX 9070 XT. And it's barely breaking a sweat. The video codec engine is only running at like 17-18% load. That is very, very good. That means this GPU has a monster video encoder. It is insanely efficient. It is insanely good. And the image quality on top of that is top notch. So the other thing too is system memory. The new recommended amount of memory is like 48 gigs of RAM. So if you got less than 48 gigs of RAM, then yeah, because right here we are using 29.3 gigs of RAM in compressed right now of system memory. Available 63 gigabytes of RAM. So a true high-end gaming PC like mine, like this one for instance, will have lots of cores with lots of available threads and lots of memory. 96 gigabytes of memory at 6400 megatransfers. We are running 4 sticks of memory. The tooltip doesn't show up on the stream, but I can see it. So 4 out of 4 down here at the bottom of the task manager, 6400 megatransfers, 4 sticks of DDR5 at 6400 megatransfers. Total 96 gigabytes. 4 times 24 gigabytes. Why is this the best way to go? Because if you care about how the PC looks, you want 4 sticks of RAM, 96 gigs is going to be the cap. That is the cap. Like Tom Peterson from Intel said, cap. No cap. So we cap 96 gigs. 4 sticks, 96 gigs. That's how you make it look good and give lots of memory. And also run fast. 6400 megatransfers, 4 sticks memory, 96 gigs total. That's the way to go. That's the way to get 100% stability. That's the way to get reliable gaming, streaming performance, top-notch looks. Everything is perfect. So this is really, really good. Yes, this is the, well, okay, this is not the 8000 sticks. This is the Magic Sticks, the G.Skill Trident Z Neo, or Trident Z5 Neo with the Expo 6400 profile. So that kit of memory is, it better be linked in the, oh boy, it's not. I gotta fix this, man, because I'm tired of why does YouTube always, I thought I fixed this, but YouTube continues to put the wrong stuff in the description. And I literally just saved this, and I don't know why it's showing the wrong info again. Alright, I'm gonna delete all those links because they're, here, just put all this stuff in here, there, and delete all of this, because this stuff is all, like, Okay, delete all of that. That's going to confuse people. Okay. So now I've updated it. So if you want to know the exact memory that's in here, it's in the description of the video. Now you may have to refresh the stream, but it's in there. Okay, we just fixed it again. What do you mean is 64X2 kit in the BIOS wrong? The what? No, this is 4 sticks of memory. This is 4 sticks of memory. Basically, you buy this and you buy it again. So you literally buy 2 of the exact same memory kit for a total of 4 sticks of memory. This is a 48 gigabyte kit. 48 gigabyte kit. Oh, it changed without refresh. That's cool. I didn't know it would do that. So this is 48 gigabytes at 6400 with the AMD Expo. It does this at 1.35 volts. You know me, I like 1.35 volts because I like my memory to run cold. I don't like it running hot because if you up the voltage, that will make your TREFI get limited to what you can actually do with it because your memory's going to start running hot, especially when playing a game and you have all the, everything's pegging the processor constantly. So 1.35 volts, this is 1.35 volts, 6400, and we know from all the memory testing that I've done over the past 2 years with DDR5, I've basically done all the hard work, so people can literally just copy me if they want. But what I can say is that if you want 4 sticks of memory, the best way to go, 96 gigs total. 128 is pointless. Okay, it's not pointless. 128, and because I get this question all the time, and I almost address it in every 2 live streams, every other live stream, someone always asks about the 192 gigabyte. So, if you're somebody who absolutely needs 128 or 192 gigs of RAM, you must come to terms with the fact that you will not be able to run above 6,000. In fact, there's a good chance that you can't run at 6,000 with that size of memory. The best you can hope for is 6,000 if you really absolutely know what you're doing, because to run 192 gigabytes, I already have a whole bunch of videos on this topic. It requires manual tuning. 192, 128, you're talking dual rank 2 DPC. That is incredibly hard to do. You cannot do this normally on AMD. You cannot do this normally on Intel either. We have a whole video showing that with a 13900K. So, if you truly want high capacity memory and 4 sticks of memory, then you have to come to terms with the fact that you cannot get above 5200 or maybe 5600. And at absolute best, you can hope for 6,000, but that requires manual tuning, and it is very motherboard specific. So you have to have a certain type of motherboard. Typically, ASRock can do it. Gigabyte can also do it. Asus is terrible at it, and that's one of Asus's shortcomings. Asus is not good at trying to run dual rank 4-DIMMs at high speed. Asus is probably the worst. MSI is second worst. And then Gigabyte and ASRock are kind of tied. Those are the 2 best ones. So it's funny because Asus can clock the highest speed with 2 sticks. But Asus is like the worst performer when it comes to 4 sticks. We're talking like 192 gigs of RAM. So it's like the complete opposite. So it's like, do you want high capacity or do you want high speed? If you want high speed, lower capacity like 48 gigabytes, 8,000, 48 gigabytes, 8,400, Asus is typically going to be the best performer. But if you want 128, 192, big capacity, ASRock and Gigabyte are better. MSI, all of them take forever. All of them take forever if you're trying to train 192 gigs of RAM. It doesn't matter. It's not just MSI. All of them are slow when it comes to 192 gigs or 128 gigs. That's the other reason why I recommend people, if you only care about the looks, if you only want 4 sticks because you like the way it looks, you want 4 single rank DIMMs, and the largest single rank DIMM today is a 24 gigabyte DIMM, which means you have to buy a 48 gigabyte kit. Then you buy the exact same kit again. So we have 48 plus 48, 96 becomes 96, 6400, and also single rank is much quicker to train. It doesn't take a super insane amount of time to sit there and wait for code 15. So this stuff trains in a normal amount of time as far as DDR5 normal training times are. And then it also can go to 6400. You can do 6400 no problem with 4 sticks of memory as long as you're on single rank. As long as you're on single rank. You cannot do that with dual rank. So that hence the reason why basically I've come to the conclusion that 96 gigs is the cap for this generation for a consumer desktop platform. Forget about 128, forget about 192. If you care about speed, if you don't care about speed and you're building this for like some kind of mini workstation thing because you don't want to pay for Threadripper, because the correct answer is if you're someone who really needs 192 gigs, 256 gigs of RAM, guess what? You're much better served with Threadripper, because Threadripper can do that much RAM at 6400 no problem, because it has 4 memory channels. So that's completely different though. So yeah, I've done like hours and hours of testing. So I'm speaking 100% from experience right now. Literally, if you want 4 sticks of memory, your goal should be 96 gigs total and aim for around 6400. And you can do 6000. 6000 is fine. 6000 is probably more ideal because you can run in the 1-to-1 ratio, for example. So you get a little bit of a latency benefit by doing that. But that is probably like anywhere from like 6000 to 6400. Maybe 66. I have not tested 7200. I don't think 7200 is a good number though, because it messes everything up. You have to run F-clock lower than 2 gigahertz, and it's not a good idea. So that's why I kind of ignore all the memory from 64, like above 64, but below 8000 is a complete blur to me. Like it's completely dead. Like any memory that's like 66, 68, 72, 76, 78, I ignore all of those memory kits. Those, like, they don't exist to me. Like, I see them in the store in Micro Center, and I just walk right past them because it's like they're pointless. There's no reason to even spend money on that stuff. Like, you're better off going with 2 sticks 8000 on a good motherboard if you really want fast memory. So, I have 64 gig. I want to run a 6400. Yeah, you can do that. That's easy. You can even do that with 4 sticks of like 16 times 4. So you just go in the BIOS and you set 6400 as the speed, and you let the BIOS train. Now you can give it the primary timings, and I'll tell you the secret timings here. CL32, 3939, 102, 1.35 volts. As long as you're on Hynix MDI, that will work with 4 sticks of memory. So you just bought the 2X40. Oh, you just bought the 2X48? That's 96 gigs. Okay, so that's going to be 2. That'll be the same thing. That'll do the exact same thing. That'll cap out around 6400, and same exact cast latency, same exact everything. It's dual rank. So yeah, that's exactly what we're running in another computer. So this is kind of like a teaser trailer, if you will. But we have a new motherboard entering the stadium here. We've got highly sought after Phantom Gaming X870E Nova Wi-Fi. So this is kind of like a preview, but expect to see a new test bench computer. The Nova is finally in the house. I have it here, so there will be a video on it real soon. This is going to be the motherboard of choice for my 9800 X3D. So for those of you that don't care about productivity or don't care about spending $700 on a CPU, aka you don't want to buy the 9950X 3D instead, if you want to save money and go with a 9800 X3D, that typically means that you're the type of person that almost wants to save money on the motherboard as well. So the best value for money motherboard is still the ASRock Phantom Gaming X870 Nova. So in my mind, this motherboard is for the person who wants to have every feature except external E-clock, and they want to pair it up with the best value CPU, which is typically the 9800 X3D. So this is going to be like that best, like, high-end gaming, maximize your value for dollar, like your per dollar spend on the amount of performance you can get. It's going to be buying a Phantom Nova plus a 9800 X3D, pairing it up with either two times 24, so a total of 48 gigs of RAM, running at 8,000, or alternatively, you can go to 96 gigabytes of RAM, running either the 4 sticks of 24, or you can do 2 sticks of 48 for a total of 96. So all those options are the best options from all of my, I don't know, I probably have like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 300 to 400 hours of testing, various different memory kits, various different like settings, cast latency, the like F clock ratio versus like 1:1 on U clock. Like, I've tested a whole bunch of things, guys, and I've come to the conclusion that Gear 2 is not that bad. First of all, Gear 1, like, running 1:1 is not like a must-have. Like, that to me, the benefit of doing 1:1 is like, we're talking like 1 to 2%, like 1 to 2%, and in some cases there's like no difference. So it really depends on the application. So I have found that if you're someone who wants to do 6400 because you bought a 6400 kit, but you can't do 1:1, who cares? It's not a big deal. You can claw back all that latency by just cranking TREFI. And the benefit of doing that is you're still running the voltage at like 1.35 volts. You don't need 1.4. You definitely don't need 1.45. You can run really, really low voltages. On top of that, if you run Gear 1 to 2 ratio, meaning your U clock is half of your memory clock, if you do that, you can run VSOC as low as 1.1 volt and save so much on idle power consumption. So there's a lot of ways to tune this system and still get like really good energy efficiency, low idle power consumption, low heat, low noise, and still get the best performance. So there's lots of ways around it. So we'll probably do some follow-up videos on these topics that are dedicated videos, not just me talking on a live stream about it. But there's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot you can do with this platform. You can mess with TREFI. You can run like 4 sticks of memory if you want. It's great. Like, yeah, so using 4 sticks of Corsair down. You can do that as long as it's, wait, so you're doing okay, yeah, because you're running 192 gigabytes. So you're going to cap at like 5600. That's pretty normal. In fact, that's still above average. ASRock's not killing X3D chips. That's not real. Wouldn't 8000 be faster than 6400? Although I will say that the people who stupidly believed that misinformation, that's what allowed me to easily get one of these, because these things have constantly been out of stock. They're like literally always out of stock at Micro Center. But yesterday I went to Micro Center and I was like, hey, you guys have like some Novas. Finally, I want to get one. So basically, I had to get rid of my Gigabyte board that was like dead. Like, it had a problem with S3 not working anymore, and I downgraded the BIOS like many, many times, and it didn't work. So thankfully, that Gigabyte board, I bought the Micro Center protection plan, the 2-year protection plan. So I went to Micro Center. I was like, hey, this Gigabyte board is throwing a 0D error code when I wake it up from sleep, and I've already had the ticket open with Gigabyte for over a month, and Gigabyte's team, the support guys, are like, oh, well, try the latest BIOS. I'm like, okay, I tried the latest BIOS. It doesn't work. It's the same problem. Remove the Thunderbolt card. I removed the Thunderbolt card. It's no different. Although I kind of thought maybe it was a Thunderbolt thing, but it's not. So then I was like, okay, I'll downgrade the BIOS all the way back to the BIOS from May of last year, which was like the best BIOS that they had. I did that, and it seemed like it was working. Like, S3 sleep was working. You wake it up and it would be okay. But then I was like, okay, I'm going to let it go to sleep for like 2 days. So I let the computer sleep for over 48 hours. And then when I came back, you know what happened? It didn't wake up. 0D. It's like, oh, well, this motherboard is clearly defective at this point. I gave up. So I'm like, yeah, I better use the Micro Center protection plan, swap that board for a similar value. So they gave me like, I think I ended up paying, so I ended up buying this with the 2-year protection plan as well. So in the event that there's something stupidly wrong with this after like a year or two, I just like take it back and get another one, or just swap to a different board. So man, Micro Center is killing it in terms of like, I feel sorry for the people who don't live near Micro Center, because oh, man, like being able to literally just walk in there and show them, here's the Aorus from Gigabyte and it's clearly defective. I mean, okay, if you're someone who never uses sleep, then it works. But if you use sleep, like I put my computers to sleep, I never turn them off. I always make them go to S3 sleep, which means suspend to RAM. And you wake it up and it's not waking up correctly on Gigabyte. And I'm like, can't do this. Time to change it out. Get a different board. Go to Micro Center and they're like, hey man, okay, go pick whatever board you want. Here's your store credit. They gave me the gift card. They put it was like $325 on the gift card. And I'm like, oh snap. This thing's $349. That means I only got to pay like $25 plus the 2-year protection plan to get a Nova. I'm like, dude, that's like win-win right there. So that's how I ended up with the Nova. So we'll be doing that. We'll be doing the Nova content real soon with the 9800 X3D. We'll probably be doing some overclock content on that board as well, because I know there's a lot of people that have been asking me, can you like show the BIOS of the Nova? So we'll be doing all of that. How good of a CPU GPU combo do you need to make the Nova worth it? Well, it's like, what do you consider your price point in terms of like best value? The 9070 XT is probably the best value GPU right now. At $600, you're effectively, guys, if you haven't realized it, buying a 9070 XT is basically buying a 4080 for $600. Do you think a 4080 at $600 is a good deal? That's basically a 9070 XT. Okay? Same amount of RAM, same amount of performance, similar in every way, similar power consumption, although if you buy an overclocked model, you know, then it uses more power, but still, same. They're like both like 300 watt GPUs. They both have 16 gigs of VRAM. They both have, the only difference is one of them is an NVIDIA, one of them's an AMD. So, in my mind, $600 for a brand new 4080 with the full warranty, it just has a 9070 XT name on it. That to me is good value. So, that's the best value GPU right now. So that, and then motherboard, $350 for like every single feature you can imagine except the external E-clock, which is kind of pointless. I was playing around with that earlier, and it's external E-clock. For those of you that don't have external E-clock, you're not really missing out on much, unless you're really, really trying to do some kind of like overclocking competition stuff. Okay. So yeah. And then I guess for the best value CPU, the 9800 X3D, because the other ones are very, very expensive. So really, to me, it's like 9800 X3D, and then like 9070 XT, and then the Phantom Gaming, the Nova. Like, that is kind of like the triangle, like, best value right there for most gamers, most people that want like a high-end gaming PC that vastly outperforms the PlayStation 5 Pro. And let's think about like how much is that? Let's total that up. Like 350 plus 600 plus, what is it, like 480? So $1,400. $1,400. Now granted, you also have to buy memory, and this assumes that you can carry over some of your old stuff like the power supply and the case, for example. But $1,400, so basically like double the price of a PS5 Pro, but it's like way faster than PS5 Pro, like way faster, and it has the flexibility of being able to do a lot more than just a console. So yeah, to me, that's the value. That kind of money, like $1,400 for like a computer that can technically game at 4K using FSR4 or FSR3 fallback, like to me that's good value. Do you remember the Nova? Oh, the Tomahawk. So again, so that's not okay. That's a weird question because you're asking me. That's like saying I rated a Honda Civic really high and I also rated a Honda Accord really high. So am I saying that the Honda Accord is worth it over the Honda Civic? They're two different segments. One is a mid-size sedan and the other one is a compact sedan. You see the problem with that question? So I'm just clarifying. The Tomahawk X870 is a Honda Civic. The Nova is a Honda Accord. You understand the difference now? They're different. It's like different segment. You know what I mean? So it's like, do you want the bigger car or do you not care? That's basically what the answer is. We could do this with a Toyota. We could say like the MSI Tomahawk is a Toyota Corolla. The ASRock Phantom Gaming Nova is a Toyota Camry. Do you think the Camry is worth it over the Corolla? Just saying. It's worth the extra money if you're going to utilize it. Exactly. Exactly. But guys, we're talking 50 bucks. 50 bucks to upgrade from a Civic to an Accord. 50 bucks to upgrade from a Corolla, which doesn't really have a lot of street cred, versus a Camry. See what I'm saying? So, hopefully that clarifies the difference there. 3090 Ti for the Win 3 can't run this game. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. We've tested 3080 Ti on stream. It does run this game. I mean, it doesn't run it that good, but it runs it okay. Wait, hold up. Hold on. She wants to... Hold on. She said you can do a meal invitation? Hold on. What's my... Do I have a food buff active? Hold up. Because I'm going to take her up on that offer. Oh, 2 minutes? Yeah, go get the food buff. Go get the food buff. We can't even do anything with that 2 minute. But yeah, where was the food invitation? Oh, right here? Yeah, let's go.
Welcome. Let us eat.
Oh, the task manager was in the way the whole time. You guys didn't get to see all the food. Oops. But yeah, man, this is the way to run the game. Like, the, not using game mode is actually better. But I really hope that the other motherboards besides Asus have this feature, because this is actually the legit best way to use the 9950 X3D. This is definitely making the 9950 X3D worth the extra money over 9800 X3D, because this is like insanely good. Insanely good. Okay. Alright, so we have a slight overclock on this CPU. That's the whole purpose of the stream, was to test the stability in a real-world situation. Hence, we're literally live streaming on an overclocked CPU. We're also playing a game on the exact same CPU. So we're fully pegging the CPU, and I guess what I'll do, let me just put Task Manager back up, because people are probably curious, like, how does the CPU look while gaming? So I'll just put this, I don't know, like, over here? I guess I'll just stack it on top of that. So you can see that we're playing a game, and it's The CCDs are doing what they need to do. We have the game running on CCD 0 using the Vcache, and we have OBS and all the other things, and Paint is open, and Task Manager is open, and YouTube is open, and a whole bunch of browser tabs are open in the background. We have all this stuff, and that stuff is running on CCD 1. It is so easy. It just works. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Because people were asking me yesterday about that. They were like, well, what about, like, core parking? Well, there is no core parking. There's no core parking. Core parking is a power-saving feature. So, we're literally in the game, and you guys can see the Task Manager. I mean, that shows how it works. 19%. What's weird is it says in... Okay, I guess there's some delay in the way Afterburner reports it. But I will say one thing, though, about the 9800 X3D that's nicer. The 9800 X3D does not heat up my room. I have noticed that the extra power on the 9950 X3D, and now I've also overclocked it, and I'm not undervolting it. I'm only undervolting in the medium frequency, which is not applicable here. So we're actually overvolting the CPU to guarantee stability of the plus 200 megahertz overclock. And that way, we don't crash or anything like that. But undervolting is a good strategy because that's typically how Curve Optimizer works, and you typically want to use undervolt, but I'm not using Curve Optimizer. This is my own secret custom overclock, so this has no Curve Optimizer. This does use PBO, and this does use Curve Shaper, though. So, but this is testing for stability in a real-world environment. The CPU is overclocked by 200 megahertz, so we're basically pushing, like, on a single core that can do 5.7 gigahertz, for example, core number 13. So my best cores on this particular CPU, actually, maybe we do need to make this larger again. So my best cores on this CPU are, in terms of how fast they can clock, core number 13, which is this one right here, and core number 8, this one right here, because the numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Because you got to remember, AMD CPUs are they have simultaneous multi-threading. So the way I like to think of it, it's like you have a left hand and you have a right hand. So an AMD core has two hands. It can lift, it can do things with both hands. And each one of those hands is shown in the Task Manager. You have dual thread per core. So it's not like the new Intel Core Ultra. The new Intel Core Ultra got rid of the hyperthreading, which basically means they chopped off the left hand. So now on the P cores, because the E cores only have one hand. So now all the Intel CPUs only have one hand. So they can only lift with one hand. They're like this. You know, like an Intel P core. An Intel P core on a 13900K, the 13900K, 14900K is like this. The 14900K is like this. But the new Core Ultra is like this. The Core Ultra is like this. The E cores don't even have right hands. They only have left hands. So all the E cores are lefties. You know, like all the E cores are like this. Going as far back as the 12th gen. They're all like this. So you got E cores, you got P cores, and now you got the new P cores. So just to give people a visual representation of how the cores are different. But the AMD ones all have two hands. So they're all like this. So that gives you guys an idea of how the thread scheduler works and how it's expressed in Task Manager. So the best cores on this CPU is core number 8, which is the first core on the second CCD. So that's this one here. So that's CPU 1617, but it's core number 8 because it starts on core 0. So this is core 8. And then core number 13 is also one of the fastest ones. And you can see that the Flex algorithm is pushing more of the extra work to those two because it knows that those two are the top performing CPUs. Now, all these other CPUs up here in the top 2 rows, these are the V-cache cores. So these don't clock as high as those two, but they still clock to like 5.5 gigahertz. You guys can see our average frequency is like 5.44, 5.6, or 5.46 gigahertz. So it's just between 5.4 and 5.5 gigahertz. That's average across all 16 cores. So really, really good stuff. I mean, so far I actually really like the way this is working out. This is really good. And then when you need the full multi-core, if like you're rendering a video, for example, you can do that with this CPU, and it's really fast. So I think that's the way to go. And we are now currently using 32 gigs. We're at almost at 32 gigs of memory is in use here. So this is the reason why I say 48 gigabytes is the new, it's basically the new kind of like recommended, I won't say minimum, I would say 32 is still the minimum, but you guys can see, like, if your computer is doing heavy lifting, you're gonna need more than 32 gigs of RAM. Anyone telling you 32 gigs of RAM is enough either doesn't know what they're talking about, or they don't actually lift. Like, they don't lift in the sense that they don't let their computer do heavy lifting. It doesn't do heavy load. Like, it's not actually working hard. So, no, 32 is absolute bare minimum in 2025 for system memory. The fact that an RTX 5090 has 32 gigs of VRAM, you really want your system RAM to like match the VRAM of a 5090? I mean, that sounds terrible. So it's like, no, 48 gigabytes is way better if you prefer high speed memory. So like if you're someone who wants to run DDR5 8000, for example, you want to go with 48 gigabytes of memory because that's going to be very easy to do, provided you have a proper motherboard that can support that kind of speed. And then for anyone else who wants like higher capacity, 64 gigabytes is okay. I don't like 64 gigabytes because you can't really... 64 gigabytes gives you an upgrade path in the sense that you can double up to 128. But as soon as you go to 128, you can kiss that 6400 speed goodbye. You will not be running 6400 mega transfers at 128 gigs of RAM. That is gone. It is gone. You will be, at best, you can hope, with a lot of manual tuning and a lot of trial and error and possibly having to reinstall Windows due to a corrupt operating system, you can hope for 6,000. But that is like the pinnacle of what you can hope to get. And that requires tons of manual tuning. So, and we're talking like tons of like impedance value mods. We're not talking voltage mods. So it's completely different. So realistically, 96 gigabytes is the true maximum. And you can do 2 times 48 to do 96. Or, if you want to be a baller and make your computer look like it's super high-end with 4 sticks of RAM, you can do what I did and go 4 times 24, and we're running 4 sticks of memory at 6400 mega transfers with a total of 96 gigabytes. So that, I think, is like, that's the stylish way. There's the practical way, which is like, okay, go buy like two 48 gigabyte DIMMs rated for 6400. And then there's like the baller way, which is basically buy 2 48 gigs kits and pair them up together. So it's like there's practicality and there's style. You choose which one you want. You want style or you want to be practical. That's, yeah, exactly, man. That's exactly what this is about. Because the thing is, I set out to build a gaming computer, like a high-end gaming desktop. This is all about gaming. So if you want, it's a gaming PC, you care about the aesthetics. You want it to look super uber high-end. And that is exactly what 4 sticks of memory does. 4 sticks of memory makes it look good. And the nice thing about 96 gigs on 4 sticks, it trains just as fast as 2 sticks of 48 each. So, No sitting around waiting for like long training times like the people who are on 128 or 192. Nah, this is the right way, man. This is the style. This is the stylish way. You balled out and got two X24. Oh yeah, man, that's even better. That's even better. Like, get Royal Trident kits, get like 2 of those kits and run like 4 of them. 4 Royals? 4 Royals? Oh, well, I mean, you can still run them. Yeah, you can. And the funny thing is, you can do that with 2 kits. Oh yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. Yeah, you got 2 times 2 times 24. Yeah, that is good. That's good. I'm hoping updated BIOS will help me get off of 4800. Updated BIOSes will not help. You're trying to do what amount of RAM? Anytime someone says they're stuck at 4800, I'm like, I bet they're running 128 or 192 gigs of RAM. No BIOS update is going to help you. No BIOS update is going to help you. The only thing that's going to fix that is either a new socket change or like Zen 6. And Zen 6 has to have like a brand new... Zen 6 is going to have a brand new IO die. You can get... So that being said, you can try to get 5200 working. It's possible you can get 5200 working with 128. Are you on X870? Because the newer motherboards are actually better at 4 sticks of memory. See, this is the type of stuff that no one tells you. Like, no one talks about this type of stuff. Like the fact that X870 is actually better with 4 sticks of RAM than X670. Like, no one reveals these secrets. These are like trade secrets.
Somebody wants to make a trade.
X670E is only good if you have one of the, like, flagship motherboards. Like an Aorus Master, for example.
They said this was our share from the Fire Spring Festival.
Alright, let's put this back down. Let me do an actual hunt with multiplayer just to verify the stability. It's funny because it's like, okay, Windows just or Steam or something is like doing something, they're updating something, one of my games that's on an old SATA, or this is a hard drive. Yeah, this is actual hard drive. I don't know what's going on in the background, but see, this is what I'm talking about. Apparently, Windows decided to update some application in the background on one of my hard drives, but I don't even notice the drop. I don't even notice the drop in performance because the CPU is so god tier. It's like, oh, you got all this stuff running in the background. We're installing some game or update or whatever. It's like, don't mind us, we're doing maintenance. Okay, yeah, whatever. Just chew through it. The CPU has all the overhead available. I didn't remove the clear... Well, that's because I don't like the... So once you have the glass, you'll get fingerprints on it. With the plastic hides the fingerprints a lot better. Eventually, what ends up happening with my cases is the plastic starts to peel on its own, and then eventually I'll just remove it. But this is what I mean by, like, I have all this stuff going on in the background on the computer. Like, okay, it's done doing whatever it was doing, but I could have been playing the game just now. I would not even notice that it's installing some update in the background because this CPU has so much resource. It has so much real estate. This is just, like, it's like, I don't know, it's like moving into, like, a brand new house or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going from a 9800 X3D, which was capped at, like, 16 threads, now, like, doubling up to 32 threads. It's like, wow. Yeah. Okay, let's do, let me do an actual hunt. Am I wasting the time on the buff here? Does it count down? Oh wow. Okay, I have the full hour, 60 minutes. Wow. Okay. So I don't think I need the screamer pod. I don't even need the dung pod. I don't need this either. I'm trying to remember, is there anything that I carry with me besides these? I guess that's it. Let's override this. Wait, register loadout. Yeah. This is a 4K output. This is natively, okay, no, it's not 4K native. It is 1440p upscaled to 4K, and then it's downscaled back to 1440p for the live stream. So basically, we're forcing the 9070 XT to do a whole bunch of extra work. It's using FSR 4 to upscale the game, and then the encoder is downscaling the game to go to YouTube for the viewers. So you can see. Oh, I guess I should not have gotten rid of Task Manager. I guess what we'll do is, so right here, this is the GPU with the FSR stuff. FSR 4 is running, and then here is the encoder doing the encoding. So that is, yeah, this is so good, man. This CPU is, oh man, it's the best. This is the best of the best. Because look at that. The game is running. The CPU, the firmware is so smart. It's like, okay, you're running a game. We're going to put it on the 3D V-cache. And we're going to run all your other stuff on the other CCD. So it can benefit from the 5.7 plus 200 megahertz offset overclock. So, I really need to test. What I'm probably going to do, I'm probably going to take, because I really don't want to mess with this computer, because I feel like this is so perfect right now. I'm probably going to take my old 7950 X3D and plug it into the Godlike and see if the Godlike has these options, because these special BIOS options are making the CPU top tier. It's so top tier right now. And it corrected the issue that I observed yesterday with the way it was assigning the work. So I'm just going to leave that over there for now. But no hiccups now. Now it is always performing good. Okay, so I don't know where what's-her-name went. We're just going to have to manually do the... Actually, hold on. Let's just go over and check. I need to get some new armor. These guys have quests for me to pick up. It's in the name of, it's in the title of the video, of the live stream. The finite state machine.
Show us the flex on this beast.
Yeah, that will be in a video. It's not that hard to access though. All you do is you go inside the BIOS and you look for X3D Flex. I think, depending on the BIOS version, I think it's called X3D Core Flex. Like, it's in the name of the video, of the live stream. It's called X3D Core Flex algorithm. Yeah, we'll look at that. I have not fully fine-tuned it. I mean, literally all I did was turn it on and load the preset and see what happens. So we'll see. I don't know if it's on MSI. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if it is an ASUS exclusive thing, or if it is available to all of them, and it becomes available when you have a dual CCD X3D, a dual CCD X3D CPU installed. Because currently, when I was looking in the Godlike earlier today, I was looking for the feature on the Godlike. I couldn't find it. But that's because I was using a 9950X, which is a dual CCD, but it is not an X3D dual CCD. So I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it only shows up in the BIOS if you have those specific CPUs. I would assume that it shouldn't be locked though. So I am under the impression right now, my gut feeling tells me that this is an ASUS exclusive technology, which it means that if you're on ASRock, Gigabyte, or MSI, it doesn't have it.
Lol, I meant the performance of this setup.
Oh. Okay, well, yeah, we'll get into a hunt here soon. Let me see. Oh, the armor sphere thing requires hunter rank 21. So I'm too low rank to be able to do that on this character. On this character, I'm only hunter rank 12. So I need to, yeah, we're gonna have to craft new gear and everything, basically. Upgrade weapon, upgrade armor. I think the weapon... The weapon is not... Okay, yeah, we're still kind of like stuck with a bunch of low rank gear.
What are we making today?
High rank, let's see. I have enough to craft this, but this is actually a little bit worse than what I'm currently wearing because I upgraded that stuff. So I really need to focus, I guess, on the Rathalos set. The ad pinging doesn't work on mobile Demon Hunter? The what? Do you guys buy protection plans on all the components? I typically don't. But I have learned that if there's one component worth buying it on, it's probably the motherboard. Because the motherboard is the thing that... I mean, maybe GPU. It depends on the GPU, though. Like, how expensive the GPU is. But, I have found that the motherboard is typically the... Because the motherboard is responsible for so many things, it connects to everything in the computer when you think about it. It's kind of like the central location for everything. Everything flows through it at some point, including the power from the power supply. So, if something goes wrong with the system, like from a hardware defect standpoint, it's usually the motherboard, from my experience. I don't think I've ever had a power supply fail, and I have power supplies that are coming up on, like, I don't know, 7-8 years now. So, but I've had, like, the Gigabyte motherboard went bad. Well, it still worked, but there was something weird about it. So, yeah. Like, especially also if you buy something open boxed. If you buy a motherboard from Micro Center open boxed, because you're saving a lot of money, because typically the open box ones are like 15 to, in some cases, like 35% off, depending on how long they've sat in the store. You can get a really good deal on a motherboard, but the thing is, I highly recommend if you're buying a used or an open box motherboard from Micro Center to save money, that is something that I actually would recommend buying the protection plan. Case in point, the Gigabyte Aorus motherboard that I returned yesterday, using the protection plan, I purchased that open box. That was an open box motherboard that I purchased back in, it was last year sometime. And it started acting weird, but the thing is, I was like, because it's a used motherboard, I don't know what the previous owner did. So just get the thing, because it was already, you know, like, that motherboard was like $200 something because it was open box. So you add the 2-year also, the other thing too is the 2-year protection plan on open box is cheaper than on brand new. So my open box price for that motherboard was like $35. So you're talking like 200s, it was like 280 plus 35, so it's like just over 300 for a Gigabyte Aorus Master, like an X670 Aorus Master that has a back plate. It has like really good Gen 5 heat sinks and stuff. Like, that's a really good motherboard. It has postcode debug, all that good stuff. But it had some weird problem where it's like, okay, S3 Sleep is not waking up properly. It just postcode error 0D on the debug. Thankfully, the debug is there, so I know exactly what's wrong. So, you know, that kind of stuff. That's when I would typically buy the protection plan, because you don't want to be in a situation where you buy a used motherboard and it works okay for like the first month or two, and then, you know, 3 or 4 months, basically past the return period, and now something starts happening. You really want to deal with an RMA? I mean, you can. I mean, you still get the RMA, but, you know, that's You're talking like now you gotta ship them the motherboard and all this stuff. So no, it's way more convenient. I think out of all the things that I've had to return, the motherboard is probably the most common thing. The only other component that I can think of that I've had to return, but the RAM, it was RAM, but the RAM is also rarely ever defective. I usually end up returning the RAM because it's not the right RAM. Like, I remember I bought RAM for a laptop once. It didn't work with the laptop. Or, like, it would only run at, like, the lowest speed, the JDEC whatever speed. It was, like, DDR4 or something. So, you know, in those scenarios, maybe protection plan on memory, but I don't think it's really worth it for stuff like the CPU. The CPU typically doesn't die. I mean, unless you're doing something horribly wrong with the system, and you probably shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, like CPU, I typically never buy protection plan on CPUs. I never buy protection plan on like power supplies. I don't buy it on RAM either, to be honest. Like, it's really just the motherboard. That's the one that, I mean, maybe GPU. Motherboard and GPU are like the two components that, they can be pricey, especially the GPU. And you really want to have to ship that back? I mean, it really depends. Like, what's your tolerance for like downtime of dealing with an RMA and having to deal with the support? You turn on game mode in Windows? No, game mode is turned off. The whole point of the stream is to show that you don't use game mode. CPUs and used enterprise U.2 SSDs are pretty bulletproof. Yeah, that's another thing. I never buy the protection plan on SSDs or any storage. No hard drives, no SSDs, none of that stuff. Because you should have backups, you should have redundancy. So you shouldn't, like, if a drive dies after like 5, 6 years, 7 years, you know, whatever. You know, like, hopefully you have a backup, but still. I used to stream on Twitch. I don't stream on Twitch anymore. I kind of like just exited out of that platform. Do you have game bar enabled? No. No. My Nova was get what do you mean my Nova? I don't have a Nova. Like, I have a Nova now. It's like literally in a box. Unopened, brand new, but up until now, I've never used the Nova before. I don't know what you mean by my Nova. Your Nova. Okay. Apparently some magic Nova that I supposedly had at some point in an alternate reality is worse performance than the Hero. Like, what? I don't understand the question. First of all, I'm using a Hero right now. We're literally using the ROG Hero. Like, that's what this computer is using. So first of all, it's my Hero, not my Nova. So I don't understand that. Like, that just sounds completely, I don't know. Still waiting on my Cosmos C case. Is that one of those aquarium tank things? I don't know. Are those cases, do they actually have good airflow? Because every time I look at those cases that are like glass at a 90-degree angle, I keep thinking that those are terrible with airflow compared to like a standard one that has an air like intake on the very front of the case. Yeah, and over the years, I would say the things that I've had to do the most returns on are motherboards and possibly graphics cards, but I don't actually, now that I think about it, I've never returned a graphics card. So, but I don't know, like, it's up to you, it's really up to your tolerance level with dealing with RMAs. In the unfortunate event where you have to deal with an RMA. So do you want to deal with an RMA, or would you rather just take it back to the store and get something else? $9950X is great value. Yes, it is. The Rathian? The Rathian armor. This looks like an armor set from Dark Souls. Maybe I should move the task manager into the other corner so it's not like blocking the... Maybe I should go up here. 9070 XT is really, really good. That is a very impressive GPU. I'll say this again for those that weren't here earlier. The 9070 is basically an RTX 4080 for $600. If you don't think that's a good value, then I guess for you it's not a good value. If you think that's a good value, then it's a good value. But this is basically RTX 4080 with an AMD logo on it. That's basically what it is. Same power consumption, same amount of VRAM. Everything's pretty much the same. And the reason why I can say that is because I have a 4080 Super Founders Edition. So I know exactly how that card behaves. And this card is almost identical in every way. You sent me a pic of the video of this live stream on a big screen. Oh, wow. B850E. I kept wanting to say B580 for some reason. The B580 is like somewhere up there, like up there on top of the bookshelf. Is it okay to install Windows on the chipset SSD and game? Yeah, you can do that. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really change anything. Taking chance on X370E. Godsend? You mean what? The Godlike? Man, the MSI Godlike, the X870E Godlike had a really rough launch. That motherboard, first of all, it came out like a month late after all the other motherboards launched, although the only one that took longer than it was the Gigabyte Aorus Extreme AI Top. The Godlike came out late, and then it had this problem. I don't know how many people here know about this, but the Godlike had a problem with the LCD dashboard. They called it the Dynamic Dashboard 3. Oh man, that thing had a problem. There's a thread on MSI support forums that I think it's like 50 something pages long. It had a lot of problems. I had to make a video as a workaround for people to kind of fix the problem temporarily. That's how bad it was. It was so bad. The problem was so bad that I had to make an actual video showing how to fix it. But my fix was a temporary fix. It's not the permanent fix. So the permanent fix is out now. So MSI did fix the problem, but apparently there's still some people that are having problems, and it was so bad that it bricked some people's dashboards and they had to RMA the entire thing or something like that. It was pretty bad. It was not a good impression of that board. And then the other thing too was the BIOS before the most recent BIOS had a boot loop problem, and then there was some other problems with it taking, like, having to do like a double triple post before it would actually finally load Windows. Like, and then I tested it with like 2 graphics cards, and as soon as I put the second graphics card in and I tried to plug the cables in the second graphics card, I would get no display. So I'm like, okay, well this motherboard doesn't know how to like push the video signal or like prioritize the video signals on the second GPU, but other GPUs know how to do that, but apparently the Godlike can't do that. That's an MSI thing. So I was not impressed with the Godlike. I mean, it looks really nice, but as someone who was using it for a while, it could have spent a little bit more time in the oven before, you know, they launched it late, but I feel like it needed even more time. So, yeah. It definitely makes me think twice about buying another MSI in the future. Especially like a super high-end board like that. Because that's an $1,100 motherboard, and the user experience was not worth $1,100. Let's put it that way. The amount of hoops that I had to jump through to like work around a bunch of things, and I consider myself somewhat of a power user, so I can kind of power through things. I can only imagine someone who is less experienced with building PCs and spending that much money on a motherboard and then running into all those problems and may or may not knowing like what they're supposed to do to fix the problem. Like, yeah, that's no. I don't recommend the Godlike because of that. I mean, I guess it's okay now. It's okay now, but if you would have asked me, like, is the Godlike good, like, back in December or January, I would have told you no. No. No, it's not worth $1,100. I mean, because, like, even at $1,100 with all the fixes, you really need to be a power user that really, really needs the features that the Godlike offers. Otherwise, even if it's perfect, it's still not going to be worth it unless you actually need the features that it has. But we're talking like you have to troubleshoot things like S3 resume and multi-GPU and black screens and USB hub issues messing with low power sleep state and typical current idle versus like low current idle power supply standards. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there to unpack. It's not just like, oh, clear the CMOS. That doesn't fix the problem. That doesn't fix the problem. Clearing the CMOS does absolutely nothing. All it does is get rid of your expo profile. It's like, okay. Do these new AMD CPUs benefit from lower RAM, cache latencies, for example? They do. They do, but again, that's going to be that's highly application dependent. So it really depends more on whether your application that you're using benefits from lower cache latency or not. I mean, the CPU will benefit to an extent, but in general, what I have seen is that frequency, memory bandwidth, and higher frequency matters more. It makes a bigger difference than cache latency. So cache latency helps, but to me that's way more application specific, and in general, memory bandwidth gives you better results. On average. Like looking at a whole bunch of apps. The game mode bar, I don't understand the game bar thing, like. Hold on, should I even bother upgrading this stuff?
Got something in mind?
Really, the main one is probably the Rathlos set. I can get this. This gives me evade window. Evade window, Constitution, Adrenaline Rush. All right, we're gonna put the Rathlos set on wish list. The whole set here. In fact, I can craft 2 of the pieces. That would give me Scorcher 1.
You know where to find me.
Capture some flash flies.
Yes.
Optional quest, King of the Skies. This is high rank. You no longer need to do what?
Commencing quest now. Are you prepared?
Yeah, you can see this game is so CPU heavy. It's so CPU demanding. You can see how much of the CPU is in use. Now, if you're only playing the game, it's not going to be this, like, it's not going to use this much CPU. But hopefully this shows why this CPU is better suited over, like, a 9800 X3D for doing something like this, where you're basically running everything on one PC. You're running the game stream, you're running the game itself, you're running all the other things that are running in the background, Discord, Steam, browsers, Paint, because you got to have Paint open as well. You know, like, all that stuff is also running. You plan to go from a 3600 with a 3060 Ti to a 9950 X3D and a well, okay, you're gonna have to pick one of those two, and 96 gigs of RAM and yeah, everybody yeah, man, 96 gigs is the way to go. Oh, I thought I could roll through. Oh, I forgot what I wanted to do. I wanted to craft a new weapon. Because I've been using the greatsword for the entire story mode. It's been so long since I used this. Alright, here we go. Can I jump up on here? Can I jump up on him? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jump on that dragon. This dragon ain't no Shenron. Let's see if we can mess up this part also. Let's see if we can open up this one. That first one was 9800X. Now we have a 9900X 3D. How do I get to the back of him? I guess, okay, I guess we're just gonna have to bring him down. Like in Lord of the Rings. Bring him down, bring him down. Oh, yes. Oh, man. Oh. I'm just gonna jump on him. Oh. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, I ricocheted off the wall, took extra bounce damage. Heroics. This character still has the old item set, the old item radial menu. I really need to go and update a bunch of this stuff. I think I have 18 hours of playtime on this character. What? Oh, I thought that the rock would protect me. Apparently, it shot through the rock. Okay. Probably this one. If you're talking 8 years, probably this one out of all the ones available. Wait, did someone else? Did Olivia cart also? Did he just cart like 2 people? You want to go with Gigabyte Aorus Extreme AI Top? Aorus AI Top is good because it has the X8 for dual GPU. It has an X8, or it has an X2 slot. I think it has an X2 slot. Or maybe it's an X1. Yeah, it's X2. Wait, what? Oh, he's going this way. Oh, I see him flying in the sky. Rathlos is going. He's trying to fly to Micro Center. Rathlos wants to go get a 99 for the X3D right now. He's like, don't follow me. Leave me alone. Rathlos is like, wait, hold on, time out. These are vines. I just want to go to Micro Center. I just want to go to Micro Center. Oh, he's mad. He really wants to go to Micro Center. Oh, that was good. That was a good block. That was a good block. Oh, man. Is there a performance drop when having GPU run at X8? No. Especially if it's Gen 5, no. There is a slight one if you're on Gen 4. A Gen 4 GPU, but it's really not that bad. It's like very low single-digit percentages at worst. Oh. You know, I want to try something here because one thing I haven't been able to figure out is should I offload the encoding to the other GPU and see if that frees up resources on this. You get more connectivity. You get more out of those lanes. Oh man, all those perfect guards. That hit pretty hard, man. Wow. Oops. So I can cut the tail. And he got up pretty fast. Still managed to stagger him though. Oh! Will 2 M.2 and 1 SATA SSD be okay with the board? Yeah, wait, oh, I forgot. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to go and loot the stuff over here. I don't even remember where it is. Is it over here? Oh, well, whatever. It's too late. I can cut the tail. I really need to cut the tail. Oh, well, that's the wing. Wow, he really was trying to kill me right there. Heroics. Wait. Oh, what is the, Oh, no wonder. What the... Doesn't really help. I need to figure out if the encoder is what's causing this lag when in this fight. It's either the... I need to look at the GPU. Because this could be the GPU. I feel like I'm GPU limited because we're sub 60 during the fight, but then it goes back to normal when we get away from the fight. So I... need to use this to knock him down. There we go. Well, that didn't knock him down, apparently. There! Oh, yeah. Oh! Did someone jump on him? Oh, someone jumped on him. Oh, I wanted to cut the tail off so badly. Oh, I got the ruby. Sometimes the medulla is the hardest thing to get, though. No, it doesn't. That's what I was talking about earlier. I'm wondering if it's not. It doesn't look like the encoder is overloaded. So it's either the GPU or it's something with OBS. Because I tested this last night after last night's stream. I kept playing the game. As soon as I closed OBS, the FPS went way up. So I wonder if there's something with the way this is. What if I do SLI mode? What if I turn that off? See, I can't really tell unless I get into a... Okay, that doesn't seem to do anything. Hook rate is normal. I know that OBS is causing it to do that, though. See, it was only doing it when we were in the hunt. But see, okay, see, there it is again. So what happens when? Yeah, the encoder does not change, so it's not the encoder. But we get a massive spike in... Yeah, so it's like it definitely is... The other thing that I was wondering is, could it be my SSD is overheating? Because the SSD, the way this game is designed, it constantly... Let's open hardware monitor. It's constantly streaming data from the SSD all the time. So if the SSD is thermal throttling... So right now, the SSD is running 62 degrees Celsius. This is the Crucial T700. 62. And I know that the Asus Hero is not a good motherboard for cooling a Gen 5 SSD. So I don't know if that's what it is. I don't think the thermal throttle point is 62 degrees for the SSD, though. I think it has something to do with the live stream. Because when I'm not live streaming, this game never does that. But one thing I notice is there's a ton of... You see the spikes on the CPU utilization in the task manager when the FPS drops. It's like the game is like pushing a heavy load on the CPU all at once. But again, it doesn't happen when not streaming. So I still kind of think it's like something with the way OBS is set up. But there's nothing really I can do to change that. Limit capture frame rate. Like, what does that do? No. That didn't do anything. Yeah, there's really, like, not a whole lot to change there. Remove the overlay. Oh, you think maybe it's the rivet tuner? Yeah, we don't really need the overlay. Okay, because the Steam overlay is still on. Well, let me make sure that's not gonna like. Okay, it may. The problem with this is sometimes turning that off while this game is running will crash the game. So okay, I'm gonna shut off Afterburner because sometimes Afterburner will cause the game to crash when exiting out of it. Let me see. Well, you know, no, okay, no, it still does that. You can see the spikes in utilization where it just gets hammered by the game engine. This is the thing with the game though. Like the best video on this subject is a video from IGN. IGN has a very, very thorough and very excellent video about Monster Hunter Wilds and why it performs the way it is and why it's so hard to run. And the decisions that Capcom made which resulted in it performing the way it does. Excellent video. Oh wait, I need to tell this guy needs to get the good stuff. Just get all this stuff. Get all the good stuff. This guy's got all the good stuff. Just buy all of it. Just get all of it out of stock. Okay. Oh wait, equipment materials? No, I guess do a balance. Wait, mostly comprised of special items, special equipment, hunting items. Yeah, I'll just do any for now. Task manager? Oh, you mean the overlay stuff? This SSD does run hot though without the Noctua fans nearby. 63 degrees Celsius on the SSD. This game is installed on that SSD and that's why. But like I said earlier, when I'm not streaming it doesn't do that. So I don't know what is doing that. It definitely does seem like it's a CPU limit versus a GPU limit that is being hit. Remove cores for the OBS via set affinity. Why? There's no. I don't think there's any reason to do that.
I'm glad you came to speak with me, Hunter. Might I make a request of you? I'd like to commission the capture of some endemic life as part of the Guild's ecological survey.
Endemic life capture? Understood.
I'm grateful. Allow me to brief.
That's what I was thinking. I might try running it on the other GPU, but I don't think it's the GPU because the encoder is only like 17% utilization.
Patience and precision are key.
So I highly doubt that it'll do anything. I mean, I could try it. What it'll do is it'll just end up pushing the traffic over the PCIe bus through the CPU. So technically, it'll create more work for the CPU rather than less work by running it on the second GPU. Actually, I'll try that. That'll require me to stop the stream and restart the stream. That is something worth trying, though. So I might actually do that just to try that. Just make the Intel GPU do the encoding and see if it changes. I mean, it's weird because like right now it's 100, it's like 80 to 100 frames per second, but then like randomly it will just change because of the dynamic load. But again, it's because this is a multiplayer game. There's people that are dropping in and out of the session. All right, I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna stop the stream, switch the OBS to use the Intel GPU, and then start it back up. So you'll see it like look like the stream is buffering or like disconnected, but I'll come back. Okay. So all I did was I changed it to Intel, and it doesn't look like it did anything. It still does the same thing where it'll still dip to like 50 something and then go back up to like 90 to 100 and then it'll go back down, just running around other people. Yeah, I don't know. It's the average CPU utilization is basically the same. Is something running in the background? I mean, there's a bunch of stuff running in the background. There's nothing using any of the drives. Oh, wait, no, there was something running in the background. Oh, no, that's the T700. Never mind. No, that's just the game. The T700 constantly has activity on it. It's like constantly doing stuff. Oh, one thing I noticed, though, there was a big chunk of stuff that went through the T700. Yeah, see? Okay. This is a good thing to show people so they understand direct storage. So, here is an... Oop, wrong thing to move around. This is an example of direct storage in action. So, this is the crucial T700. This is a Gen 5 SSD currently running at 63 degrees Celsius. So, it's running hot. But you can see... when playing the game is using direct storage. So simply just moving the camera is forcing the SSD to basically provide the data over to the CPU. And then the CPU will then send to the GPU. The SSD is constantly having to do work. This means that the game is using direct storage 1.0 because it is using the CPU to effectively stream the data. This is exactly how direct storage is designed in its first version, where it uses something called CPU decompression. CPU decompression. So, and you can see, like, just, okay, what we'll do... Actually, I'm going to monitor this because this is very interesting stuff. So, how do I get... Okay, let me just get to a point where the... Let's go over here real quick. Let's just go inside that tent and see what happens. Okay, in the tent. Look at that. Look at that. Nothing's happening with the SSD. It's sitting there doing nothing. So maybe... Yeah, I don't know, because it's definitely something with OBS, because when I am not streaming, it doesn't do this. I mean, it's you still see the work on the SSD, but it doesn't affect the performance at all. If you need all the connectivity of the Tai Chi Lite, then get the Tai Chi Lite. I just think the regular Tai Chi is better. Put this over here.
Yep. Anything catch your eye?
Can I forge all the Wrathfuls? I need a Dragon Bone Relic. And Wing Drake Hide Plus, which I can actually get. I can get those. 2. I just need 2 of those. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I basically just need a Dragon Bone Relic and the Wing Drake Hide Plus, which I can go get that from the field. Why did it stop? Oh, what's my secondary weapon? I don't even know what it is. This? Oh yeah, that needs to change. I need to get a different weapon for secondary.
To be careful, but it could be helpful to have a campsite here.
Hold on, we need to get... We need to go find that thing that flies. They're probably not going to be around with all this bad weather. What do these drop?
The lightning has them amped up. You might be able to use them as a flash.
These don't drop Wing Drake. Oh man, oh man. Okay. Oh, whoa, that one just jumped at me. He just jumped straight at me. Get these raptors out of here, put them back in that lake. Talioth scale? This is not what I need.
Materials off of small monsters as well.
I need the good weather, though. This weather is really bad. Like, it's causing me to not find the things flying. Nothing's really flying in this weather. Yeah, I don't think it's the SSD. I think it's actually something with OBS. Because if I'm not streaming, this never happens. So it's definitely something with OBS. There was an update to OBS. I'm probably going to have to do a rollback. Because I don't remember this happening previously. But yeah, that's how direct storage works. The CPU is doing the decompression. Now it doesn't have to. It can be GPU, but they didn't opt for GPU decompression. Did he fall down? Where'd it go? Oh. The heck? I need this thing. I think this is the thing that has the Wing Drake plus. Yes. Okay, I need another one. This weapon's too slow. Okay. Okay. That should be all that I need for those. And go back. What should I buy? I mean, I already answered that question like way earlier. Like the first time you asked the question, I already answered it. I need to forge alternate, instead of using the, I kind of want to use the hammer or the switch axe, especially the switch axe. Let's try switch axe as a secondary.
Got something in mind?
Yeah, I don't know. I got this one. I got the ore tree one. This one can go into Hirabami for an ice, or I can just keep going ore, but I'll probably just go into ice. I have another one of these? Wait a minute. I can make... Okay, the Rathlos. I think we got G Rathlos already. So, I kind of want something else besides that. I can make this one and then go down to the Kangalala one and then go over to one of these, I guess. I don't think I have any. Oh, I do actually have stuff for the G Arc Veld.
What are we making today?
I guess for high rank though, get the Rathlos armor. What drops a dragon bone relic? Or is that like farmed off of a dead dragon? Dragon Bone Relic. Where do you get that? Dragon Bone Relic. Bone piles in the plains. Oh, so you just have to get lucky. Okay. So I can craft like most of the pieces. I just won't have the chest piece, I guess. We'll just still have the old, yeah. Okay, so what is my current set bonus? Oh, evade window. Okay.
Ready to get to work?
Yeah, let's just start making these parts.
Alrighty. Perfection.
Rathlos.
Ready to work.
Rathlos.
Perfection.
Yeah, because this is a significant upgrade.
Ready to work. Perfection. Look good. Alrighty. Perfection.
Alright. Okay, that's significant. Now I finally have mostly high rank armor. Because I was still wearing my low rank armor from when I completed the story mode. So now I'm only missing the chest piece. So for that I need to fight Rathlos. I need to hunt Rathlos again. And try to find the Dragon Bone relic somewhere. What do I have for this? I can give myself some more defense. Even more defense. And then, what is this? Reduces stamina depletion when evading. Oh, that adds constitution. Stun resist. Poison. Survival expert. Self-improvement, attack and defense increase as time passes while on a quest. I guess put that in. Yeah, just put self-improvement, I guess. Yeah, just do that. We'll just go with that for now. And then I think that's it. 235 defense, 10 fire resist. That does help.
Fit you to a T.
Oh, I forgot about my secondary weapon.
Hey.
Now, do I want to use the lance or the I think I said switch axe earlier. So, I guess we'll make an ice weapon, Hirabami, and that gives me the option to go to this. Or should I go with something completely different? This path is open for some reason. Except I don't have the base weapon for this. Lala Borino, actually paralysis switch axe sounds like a good idea. How does it look? Arkveld, Doshaguma. I need to hunt the Doshaguma if I want G Arkveld. I guess we're just gonna go into this one for now. Hirabami. Get the ice one.
Ready to work. Alrighty. Perfection.
Equip the secondary weapon. We'll go with that. 120 ice. 0% affinity. No defense bonus. And then I guess for the primary, I'll just keep using the greatsword that I have.
Something in mind?
I can't really upgrade it right now until I hunt a G Rathlos, so I'm kind of stuck. Hopefully, do I need to hunt like low rank Guardian Rathlos? See, that's the thing that's confusing. I thought I had the other one. The New Udra? New Udra has 8. Oh, but it has lower. Oh, okay. This thing looks cool. This thing has offensive guard. 10% sleep status. You know what? I might actually make this. It has way worse base attack, though. This has higher base attack, but like negative 15% affinity. This one looks cool though. And then okay, there's also that one, which is probably the one that I should use because that one has even more. Punishing draw. If I'm wall spamming, that's really, really good. Oh, wait a minute. I can actually craft the G Arcveld one. That one has 200 dragon. Man, the great swords are so cool looking. Dosha Grimslayer. I don't know which one to use. I guess I'm going to switch back to this one because this one has the defense bonus and a higher raw. It has no elemental damage though. So I don't know which one to use actually. I guess we'll just go with the one I have. Because it's G Rathlos and it has the crit rate stuff. Does Rathlos show up in this place? I don't think he does. Oh, now the weather becomes nice. Well, I guess what I'll do while I'm still here, since the weather's nice, I will go and check see if I can get a dragon relic bone from somewhere. Where would I need to go for that? Over here. I need to go talk to the cat about building out the base camps or the tents. Southeast. Southwest. Oh wait. This one? Need to get all these camps set up. There, now I can just like go right over here. What? This thing is gonna destroy my camp. Oh yeah, that's exactly it. That's it. There it is. Got it on the first try. Now I can finish the set. Well, actually, no, I have to hunt Rathlos again. Alright. Is he around? I guess we gotta go to the oil well, oh, the Scarlet Forest. Hold on, wait a minute. Is there a quest for me to do here? This guy, there's like a quest for me on that one. There's a lot of like animals moving around here.
should ask around if we have time.
Hey,
Okay, I added him to the trade. He can trade. This one. Turn this in.
Well, what can I do for you? TK.
Ah, it's you. Sorry, things are a bit chaotic here.
Did something happen?
One of the kids got hurt. Ran into a... what did you people call them? Rompopolo?
You have a 5090 and it's black screening.
What? You see the thing?
You reseated it to see if it fixes it. No, reseating's not gonna do anything.
See,
If the graphics card was not seated correctly, it would not work at all.
we may need to act.
Maybe. I guess if even the bones...
So no, that has nothing to do with the problem. The problem is you probably need to update the drivers because there's a known problem with the black screen issues on the drivers of NVIDIA.
Other effects in the ecosystem here. Humans' coexistence with monsters is built on top of a more fragile balance than we like to think.
Or just return and get another one,
Huh.
which is
I'll take your word on it.
easier said than done.
Armored, a little slip leads to big problems.
And it's still doing it? That's not a good sign.
Just be careful, Hunter.
That is really not a good sign. Man, this is why I don't like talking about the 50 series. I really don't like talking about that graphics card series. It's just every single time it's like bad news.
Ida's report. The Rompopolo population has exploded.
The 4080 FE did not have the black screen
Normally,
issue.
that increase would
That
be
was a
met
different
with
problem
proportional rise in
completely.
predator species.
That was not a driver-related problem.
But it seems like that hasn't been the case here. The local ecosystem may already be destabilizing.
Agreed. The situation requires some intervention before life here becomes unsustainable. When you're ready, let's set out to winnow that Rompopolo population and secure the area.
Oh, I want to do that? I don't really want to do that right now. There's a Rathian here. Wait a minute, what? There's one of these guys? This guy's got a thing? Oh, man. Okay, save as investigation. That's a good one to save. Because that one has the gem. Rathian. Who's this? She's on the trade list also now?
Another time.
Okay, it's funny. It's like they want to trade. They want to trade for like really, really rare things that I would rather keep if I had them. It's like, hey, you want to trade for this? It's like you want to trade. It's like trading like Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something. Like they have like they want these like super high rare cards, and I'm like, hey, I'd rather hold on to those. It's like the thing that you want me to trade you is like way more valuable than the thing that you want to offer in return. It's like, really? This is another guy. Let's see what he wants to trade. See, he wants things that I barely even have. Like, really? Like, these are like super rare items, man. It's like, and he's gonna give me something that is like not that rare in comparison. Obviously those things are more like end game centric things that will make more sense in the end game. There's monsters that I don't even know what these things are. I have to go find out what those are. 4070 Ti Super still kicking.
I should look over there.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Yeah. Probably, this is probably like New Udra or something on high rank. Or it might be that Gravios. That's Rathian. Alright, whatever. I don't know. Rathian's doing whatever. Rathian tried to like backflip and failed. What was that? What was that? Did I just see that little like random? Whoa! There's two of them?
Taking view.
Hold on a second. We're out of here. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm out of here. I'm not fighting that thing. It's like instant transmission out. Instant transmission out. We're flying. We're going somewhere else. I ain't fighting those two things. That's gonna be like swinging a greatsword into a nuclear power plant's concrete wall. It's like, why would I waste my time doing that? That's a bad idea. There he is. Alright, just get this guy right here. This Rathalos.
By order of the guild.
Go get this Rathalos.
They've issued us supplies. Let's put them to use.
There's always, it seems like there's always people hunting Rathalos. Like, I guess his armor set is very good, even like in late game. I think there's better things in late game though. Should I try fighting him with this? Alright. Going down now. Knocked down. Wow. Alright, this is a weapon that I did not play with too much in the beta test, nor did I use it in the story, so I don't actually know, like, the new moves. Okay, you can do the ledge hop. That's good. You can do ledge hopping.
Let's begin then.
Oh, did I just like perfect dodge that or something? I didn't take any damage from that. All the stuff on the wish list. Oh, man. Wild swing. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Still haven't figured out what it does, what Switch X does on the wounded attack, on the focus strike. Still don't know what that move is that it can do. Oh man, oh man. Yes. Whoa. Oh man, the dodge. I missed that one. I shouldn't say that I dodged, then I fail the dodge. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so good. The moves are so good in this game. Switch axe. What? What was that? Okay, that's the new move. This is really weird. This is very awkward, like fighting Rathalos up here in this like little corner. Up here in the canopy of the forest. I should probably heal. That was weird. We were like fighting Rathalos like right up here in this little corner. I'm like, really? No one, we're not gonna move around. We're just gonna like, whatever. Alright, here, let's get on this MSI Godlike. Let's go. Let's go, Godlike. Most people with 1080 Ti upgraded. Yeah, I mean, 1080 Ti is so bad, man, right now. It's what? That's only good for like 720p gaming in this day and age. Like, case in point, this game, the 1080 Ti can probably run this game with frame gen at like low settings at 1080p, probably, with upscaling though. It cannot do 1080p native in this game. That is 100% sure. Someone else already confirmed that for me. So yeah, 1080 Ti is like a 720p graphics card now. So definitely not good. Not good, unless you play like really old games. But if you play new stuff like this, 1080 Ti is garbage for this game. Alright, hold on, let's open this up. Let's go. Here we go. What is that? Uh-oh. There's a big spider. What is this? Wait, oh, we can do different moves. Adrenaline rush. Where'd he go? He like flew off. $2X 248000 with a magic RAM. It would break your RAM per core. Yeah, but I mean, you're undersized basically. It's undersized for that CPU. It doesn't mean you can't do it. Technically, it will be undersized. Per Adobe's guidelines, that's an undersized config. He's down. Try to cut the tail. Try to cut the tail, people. Come on. Need the tail. He turns around, his head gets hit. Trying to hit the tail. Oh wait, he has a... Oh! He has a... There's a cut right there. If I could just get to it. No, the other... There we go. Oh! What? That's what it does? Someone's using like a paralysis weapon. Oh, you can jump on him. Okay. I thought they took it out of the game. You can still do it. It's weird. I gotta figure out how to angle that. Oh, wait, hold on. Is there a dragon relic in here? Oh wait, I keep pressing the wrong button. You need to knock Rathalos out of the sky. When he's in the sky, it's really annoying.
Hang on, Hunter.
This trap, I'm gonna knock him down. We didn't cut the tail off, did we? I don't think so. No. Oh, I gotta go get the trap.
It's always a treat to watch.
Oh, I got another Rathlos ruby.
I've received word from Fabius. It seems he has something for us. He's asked us to meet him in Suja. Let's go and hear what he has to say.
Said he wanted to meet where? Suja? Oh.
Thank you for coming.
Did you want to see us about something in this area, sir?
A matter surfaced during my talks with the Ulharken. I've gathered the others as well. Wait here a moment.
Alright, so we're probably gonna end the stream after this.
Hollow, sir?
Yes. It seems that is their name for a place not far from here.
Indeed, it is a place that beckons to monsters, and people sought to keep them at bay long ago. But effort does not always bear fruit. After the city fell, the Hollow was overrun by monsters, and now it faces change once more.
I take it that's the reason you've called us?
There's been a surge in the monsters visiting the Hollow as of late, though we don't yet know why. Also, I have been informed that there is a site nearby of special significance to your people.
Correct. For us, it is a place of prayer.
A place, then, that you would no doubt want preserved. Considering the likely effects of these changes.
You are curious. Go, observe it as you will. You are not ones to treat life with disregard, nor to take it needlessly.
You have my thanks and my word that we will proceed with all due reverence, madam. Avis Unit, you're to survey the Hollow. We will conduct a separate investigation into the surrounding area. Speak to me again.
Oh, okay, we're doing this stuff. So this is chapter 4. Yeah, so the game story actually doesn't end after the credits roll. There's still, like, what I call post-game story. It's kind of like the Final Fantasy XIV patches. It's like patch-based story content, sort of. So he wants to go and I see what he wants to do. This is gonna end up encountering Gore Magala? Anyway, we'll do that some other time. So that's basically gonna be it for a look at this overclock. So this overclock works. We will look at the X3D. What is it called? X3D. I already forgot the name. X3D Core Flex algorithm. If anybody has any of the motherboards besides ASUS, if they have the 9950 X3D, or maybe even the 7950 X3D, or 7900 X3D, or the 9900 X3D, if they can confirm for me whether or not they have Flex Algo or X3D Flex algorithm capability in the BIOS of those motherboards, that'll be very helpful. What I'll do is, after we do the video on the ASUS boards, we will cover, I will try to see if the feature exists on MSI, so we can see if the Godlike has it. But anyway, that's going to be it. This game is the direct storage behavior is interesting. So I'm going to probably try testing different SSDs to see if that makes a difference here. But the Gen 5 is barely like being utilized, except when the game is like doing stuff like this, like just moving the camera around. Yeah, that video from IGN is very, very good in terms of explaining how this game needs basically the most highest end hardware you can get for this game. Like, it's pretty much required. People talking about computer cases. All right, well, just to, I guess, last thing here, get this out of the way. This is the build, just again to show people. Let's open it up. We'll remove the glass, and then I guess turn this light on. Okay. This is the build. Just to show people. The case is this one. You can see it's a full tower. Antec Performance 1. With the mesh panel at the front. And I've added 3 Be Quiet fans right there to help push air from the bottom up. And also, this one in particular, this one helps the power supply, because the power supply is having to pull air from the carpeted floor down there, and it's like really, really bad for the power supply. So that, yeah, the power supply runs like hot. It runs like in the 60 degrees. So that runs very hot. And then we have the XFX Radeon 9070 XT, the Intel Arc A380 with the ASRock Challenger right there as a second graphics card. And then the memory is the G.Skill Trident Z5 Neo 6400. The ROG Crosshair Hero, this is the X870E. The EK Nucleus CR360, the thick radiator. You see the radiator goes all the way up with where the fans are. The EK proprietary fans, the 30mm thick 140 intake fans. There's 3 of them right there. Did we show this at the beginning of the stream? I don't remember. And then the 120 exhaust fan there. So that's pretty much it in terms of the final build. How it ended up turning out. So yeah, overall, this is probably my favorite build that I've done in a long time. So yeah, if you guys are upgrading, now's the time to upgrade. All the CPUs are out. So the Dual C X3D is on the market now. It's readily available. All that good stuff. All the GPUs are out now. So just pick what you need. And that's going to do it for this test. This overclock is stable. I would say this overclock is 100% stable because we haven't crashed or anything. And yeah. So that's going to be it for this stream. I may be back later this evening. I'm not sure yet. We may do some stuff off stream to test some things. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And I will see... If you're new to the channel, we do the Tech Thursdays live stream every Thursdays. So if you want to ask questions during that live stream, tech-related questions, be sure to tune in on Thursday evenings. We do... It's all tech-related. It's none of this, like, gaming stuff. No. It's all, like, tech stuff. So if you like that sort of content, do tune in. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks.